Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing all right. I am, of course, Midnight Hatter, and as it is the first Wednesday of the month, it's a Gunpla stream. I'll admit I'm going into this one kind of blind. I'm pulling up the chat here. What's up, Pyro? What's up, Hero? How's it going? Looks like we could probably use something to make the chat a little clearer. Would you guys not agree? Let's go ahead and... What's up, Goose? Pyro, I hope you are alive. Otherwise, I'm speaking to a dead man. Ooh. Let's see here. Now, this might look a little funny for a second here while I get this straightened up. But, there we go. Does that make the chat any easier to see, or is it worse? I can always, hop in here. I want to be able to see what you guys are saying to me. Much better. And I hope that I'm sounding okay. Seeing as how I'm not streaming any video games, the audio should not be an issue tonight. But you never know. So, this is what I wanted to work on this evening. It is clearly a Zaku FZ or Zaku Kai from War in the Pocket. I had an extra one from I was kind of pirating it for parts. And so this guy I wanted to use for some painting practice. Oh, let's see here. Found something that will make the combiner MS legs a lot easier to put together. Well, that's pretty sweet. So I'm very proud of how this guy turned out. He's primed in like a matte black, which actually looks kind of vicious. Like I really don't want to mess with the paint job too much, but again, I wanted to use this as painting practice. Unfortunately, my airbrush is totally borked, and so my options are to try hand painting this guy, which I've got all the tools here handy for hand painting him. I'd probably end up, oop, took his little ass curtains off there. So I've got everything I need to hand paint him, but I don't know if that's the route that I want to go. Or I can use rattle cans. I do have some canned, but not a wide variety of colors. I think I've got a gray, a gold, two different shades of purple, and a shade of light blue. And I just don't think that those would really come together. I'm actually saving the purples for the custom Zaku that I was working on before. So I will leave it up to the chat what I do, because obviously I can work on this fine gentleman. I'd probably just be hand painting him because that's what I have the most of, or just some acrylic hand paints. I have some enamel paints too, but I don't have anything thinner to thin it with. And then of course option 2 is I build this guy, the Dendrobium stamen. So I've got one vote for hand paint. Means it might be time to bust out my paint cups here. And it's funny you mentioned the white highlights. So while I was, this is kind of like Zakuception here. I 3D printed a couple more miniatures for a upcoming video that I'm going to, that I'm gonna put out, regarding 3D printed miniatures. And one of them actually failed. The right leg failed to print. I was like, well, I'll test some of the same primer that I'm using on the Gunpla as, I'll test some of that primer on the Mini as well. They're like, don't talk to me or my son ever again. But yeah, that's actually how I'd like to paint the miniatures, is instead of going full color on them, I just kind of want to paint them black and then do a little dry brush of white to bring out the details and, see what comes of it. Yeah, exactly. What's going on, Scorp? So, it looks like... Oh, so you want me to... Well, if I spray a highlight coat on this guy, I don't know if it'll dry in time for me to hand paint it afterwards. So I might just have to skip the highlight layer and go straight into hand painting. Uh, Take this boy apart. And of course, I'm going into this completely blind, obviously. I do have an airbrush, but it is currently, well, the airbrush itself isn't broken, but my air compressor is broken, so I am unable to use the airbrush for anything. All right. Now, if I am going to be painting, I should probably put some gloves on. Give me just a second. And then if you guys want, throw some color scheme uh suggestions in the chat here. The other downside is that the spray cans that I have are both gloss finish, and if you guys know me, you know that I can't stand a glossy finish. Now, fortunately, I have some matte top coat that I can put on it, so a gloss finish might not actually be the worst thing if I wanted to slap some decals on it, because uh, decals actually work better on a glossy finish. That's why they work best on bare plastic and then top coating afterwards. The smoother the surface that you're putting the decals on, better your results are going to look. I do have a mess of water slide decals to play with. The Taken Captain from Destiny. I am not a Destiny guy, so I'd have to look that up to see the comparison. I think I need to drop the... a little further here. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So I've got some water. A very broad brush that I think would probably be ideal for maybe hitting the shield. This might be too broad, actually. Might just stick with this guy. So fading from legs to stomach with a bright white core and white mono eye would look so cool. I am glad you mentioned white mono eye. I think I am going to so I'm definitely going to hit all of the, highlight points on this kit with some of my neon paints. So like, anywhere there where there's a thruster or anywhere that looks kind of like a like an operational light, I'm going to hit with some of this, but I think the mono eye I might do in white. So what do you guys think of like a desert Zaku motif? Like a tan, maybe some hints of blue on there. Leave it to you to suggest the marine look. That way, at least if I screw up desert colors, I can, just add a ton of weathering to it and make it look like it's been beat up. Alligator clip this sucker. I've got something to hold on to here. Desert digital. Yeah, maybe if I wasn't hand painting it. I do actually have like a nice thin enough masking tape that I might be able to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with this buff. Technically, it's a skin tone. It's a Vallejo skin tone, but I'm leaning towards a buff and but I might do a buff and green. We'll see. And again, since this is sort of an extra kit, I'm not gonna be heartbroken if it looks terrible, but you know, that doesn't mean I want it to be terrible. You guys think? I don't know if that color shows up well enough on camera. I added a little bit of white to try and desaturate it a bit, but it doesn't look too much like skin. Ooh, pearlescents sound freaking awesome. Um, I found a spray paint on Amazon weeks ago that I'd love to try on a Gunpla. It's technically it's a spray can that is designed to be used for stained glass, which I think could provide some freaking awesome results. Like especially if you were to, prime in black and then do the zenithal highlights, um, and then you hit it with that coat of stained glass paint. Kind of go ham with it here. Cathedral Gundam from Neo Italy. Guy is gonna take like 11 coats of paint to get through all this black. What I forgot to do. Don't want that to be tan. Too concerned about the side here, so secured by the core. Ooh, probably should have done maybe a brown or darker base color before the scan. Yeah, probably so. So tell me about this one coat system. Is it just not thin your paints? Just go full thickens. Whether I should down to the core. I guess I should. Again, that's gonna be obscure. So let this coat sit before I mess with it anymore. Otherwise I'm gonna keep pulling paint off. Alright. Grab King. That is certainly one way to do it, but in the past I have found that it gives less than desirable results. Maybe that was because I was doing it with enamels and not acrylics, but all the same, I am much more come on now. There we go. I'm much more of a proponent of paint thinning than I used to be. Let's put it that way. uh, so oh yeah. Yeah, that's a clever idea. Had an oop here. Painted something that I want gray. Yeah, tan. That boy. God Hand sponsored TM. No, these are actually these are Tamiya's. I don't know if you can see the logo on there. Yeah, these are Tamiya. I do have some God Hands around here somewhere. But I haven't noticed too big of a performance gap between the Tamiya and the God Hand, to be honest with you. Um a lot of it is brand name hype, or maybe it's just that I'm such a terrible Gunpla builder that you know, the tools don't make a difference for me. Although I will say, I caught a lot of flack for making a video about the gun primer razor um, glass file. You know, a lot of people saying like, "Oh, you can get the same file at like a drugstore. It's just a nail file that's rebranded and you know 3 times as expensive." Well, I'll be honest with you. I ordered some glass nail files off of Bezos department store, and they did not perform as well as the gun primer razor. So I'd like to know what drugstore these guys are shopping at, because and they definitely didn't have anything like that at my Walgreens or the Kroger that I shop at. So, like I said, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that that was not my experience. Oh yeah. See, I may have nice nippers, but I'll be honest with you, the ones that I use the most often are these like junk ones that came with a kit. Various grit sanding sticks. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. You want the best results. Yeah, you want the sanding sticks of varying grit level. Get exactly the finish that you're looking for. Honestly, the thing that gun primer makes that I like the most is balancer. Just like a sanding sponge that you can use to get like a polished effect. I don't use it often, but when I do bust it out, it's fantastic. But again, everything from gun primer is a little pricier. They are a premier brand, but you can save 10% on all of your orders if you use promo code Hatter. Yes, indeed. Uh, your boy is sponsored by Gun or affiliated with. I shouldn't say sponsored. Oh, geez, yeah, that unicorn sounds like a beast and a half to build. I do not envy you that build time. Of course, I say that and then look to my left, and I've got a perfect grade Zeta and the high grade Dendrobium Orchis that I've been procrastinating on. Mostly because I'm terrified of fucking them up royally. So I'm like, I'm just gonna, it's like in 40-Year-Old Virgin. You gotta slam through some high grade hood rats before you move on to the to the perfect grades. And by then, you'll be probably still bad, but not as bad. Yes. Yeah, you got to be careful. I'm sneaky with those promos. $2 nippers. See, that's interesting, Goose. I am, and this is probably one of the reasons it takes me so long to build a kit, is that I usually will nip as far from the, well, not as far from the part as I possibly can, but I give myself a little bit of wiggle room because I don't like to see stress marks in the plastic. So I'll cut a little bit away from the part so that I have more to work with when I'm sanding off the nub. But, you know, different strokes and all. Perfect grade unicorn. Oh no. Yeah, you should always start with uh high grades. Or if you're like me and you are um older than, I don't know, who's somebody really old? If you're older than dinosaur shit, you have built some fair grades in your day. The old like no grade 144 Gundam wing kits, all those. I have a whole box of those that I have from high school, and I've not touched them. But part of my ongoing Gunpla re-education program is going to be taking all of those old kits that I absolutely butchered and giving them some new life. Cut away from the part of sometimes Gundle. That is a handy trick, yeah, for sure. And it only happens like I find that dress marked plastic 9 times out of 10 occurs on either blue or dark red parts. Never had it happen on like a Char Zaku part. I've never had it happen on white parts. White parts obviously come off clean. Gray looks good. But like every time I cut into a blue or a red part, that plastic gets all stressed out and has that like white stretch mark on it. Um, so like my high grade gun tank looks like absolute garbage because I kept cutting too close to the plastic. Um, a third party death scythe. I'd actually like to see what that looks like. But yeah, back in my day, there was no online shopping, so the only place that I could find Gunpla was at a little shop in the mall called Another Universe. If you're from the States, then you might have seen one of them in your shopping malls. They were famous for having a xenomorph and a predator in the window. But that was where you got all the cool anime stuff. Where I got all my Dragon Ball Z trading cards. Oh, ahoy, Drakmore. Cheers. Good to see you in the chat, buddy. And congratulations on returning to streaming. I'm sorry I missed you today. I was having lunch with the missus. It broke in 2 days. That doesn't bode well for the third part. I mean, the Daban, what you call it, Zazabi, everybody loves that thing. It's actually as close as you can get to the Verka without being the Verka. So yeah, I am gonna go pretty hard on just getting all of these parts painted in that buff tan color, and then I'm actually gonna go in and with a finer brush get all of the like little details and paint them up in like a metallic gray. I actually have a nifty silver Sharpie that I use for any like I use it for weathering. Like just run along the side of a part with the side of the Sharpie and get that nice like I'm with likely to never, but I do want to get at least the suggestion of color. I want this to be like the flavored water of color on the backside of this part. Just enough to let you know that it's not plain. Now this is where I screwed up because of course my dumbass did not actually measure the exact ratio of white to buff that I put in here. So I'm just gonna have to feel it out. Where's my little mixing? Oh, I'm an idiot. I used one of my skewers to mix my paint, and then I promptly put it back into my pile of skewers, so now one of those parts is sitting on a paint-dipped dowel. So if you are following along with the Midnight Hatter drinking game, that's we'll call that 2 shots for such a terrible botch. Not gonna do it again. For dang sure. He used one of its scythe handles to tie advance. Well, that kind of sounds badass. The tie interceptor is my favorite, though, by far. Tricky one. Got so many creases and crevices up on it. But I'm also not worried about painting the polycap because it's covered by guys. Pulling paint off. That is probably a pretty sweet looking amalgamation if it's the RX-78 and Char Zaku. Right. Now I'm curious. If I started with the torso, it's been about 40 something. Guy has probably been drying for at least 20. That second coat. far. No paint peeling. Coming off my ooh, the Origin Gundam is pretty sweet. Honestly, I don't know where I got this bug for it. Probably from playing a little bit of Senki 0081, but I have this burning desire to get the Char Zaku 1, Origin 1, obviously, and paint it purple. Make it into Eric Blanc's Zaku 1, because it basically is exactly that. It's just purple instead of pink. So. However, I have not found a place that has it in stock yet. Or I should say, in stock at a reasonable price. I am not about to pay Amazon Premium. And I'm also just not about to end Amazon anymore. They have enough. That meme killed me. The one of Jeff Bezos talking about, like, you know, because Amazon employees worked so hard and so late, I was able to go to space. And if they work hard and stay up late and put in the extra hours, I might get to go again. Dang, this guy is taking. And that was definitely the skewer that had the dipped in paint. That's. Now I'll just kind of work my way back through parts that I've already done. At this point, I'm kind of just dry brushing, which is good. I mean, it's giving it some cool texture as opposed to trying to get solid even coat. I swear I'm gonna have to mix up so much of this desert themed paint. Mark 1 beam rifle, shoulder cannon, beam saber, heat hawk, and oh sweet. So it's like got the best of both kits. The best of both kits. I think that this is gonna go on a little better. It's a little thin, a little more thinned out. Very, very gingerly. If I ever get good at custom paint jobs, love to make a RX-78 in Dozel colors. That honestly, I think that most of the work on that would be applying some like gold stickers for all of the Dozel flair, if you will. What would you call it? Epaulettes and like all of the decoration. I know there's a particular word for it, but it is escaping me at the moment. Embellishments. We'd need some like gold stickers to use for the embellishment. Dozel Gundam. The gun Dozel. But yeah, man. Practice on those Transformer figures. This part I'm actually not going just yet because it keeps coming apart. We're gonna apply a little glue to the inside, and you can see, I obviously painted the outside that matte black, but I kind of missed the interior. But you're never gonna see that spot anyway, so who cares? That is why I'm going to apply, because I don't have any plastic cement. It's like photography. They say the best camera is the one you have on you. Well, the best Gunpla tools are the ones that you have on your desk. Less, of course, what's the worst possible thing you could use? Tool? Your teeth? That is an extra dry brush. Although it does leave some pretty sweet texture. I don't know if that's coming up on camera at all, but like if the base coat wasn't so dark, I would be totally comfortable leaving that level of dry brushed texture on there. So what I might end up doing is once this is entirely painted, I might go over it with, I've got some walnut ink that I could probably use as a dry brush material and get that texture back. It's got like this awesome, like rich mahogany color. Head transformer, and I immediately thought to the Raider Optimus Prime. Dude, do it. I've been, ever since I've gotten into 3D printing, I've noticed there's like this frame that people will 3D print that's basically an action figure model frame, and then you can get like G-frame armor parts to make it look like different robots. And the only two that I've been able to find so far are the RX-78 and Optimus Prime. It's pretty cool looking. It reminds me a lot of the Gundam Universe figures. A reason. 5 years and I'm just an idiot. Yes, always keep a crusted brush. Do not do not retire your brushes just because they've seen better days. If I could find it, well, what after I hit this part, I will go grab earliest hand painted kits that I did, and you can see how terrible the results were. Backside, I'm not too concerned about. I definitely want to hit the rim because that you might actually, but I'm not superior. So this was one of the earliest kits that I tried to customize. You can see I melted a toothpick, or well, I melted like a needle and poked some bullet holes in there, and got some ink chipping effects going on. This is one of those old, uh, before high grade kits. Oh, this I was actually kind of proud of. So I cut a chunk of the leg joint out, and I had some spare like radio parts, and I wedged them in some clay and forced them in from the backside of the part to make it look like machinery on the inside. That actually turned out pretty sweet. And it looks like it's been kind of blown apart there. Um so that part I'm proud of. But the paint job, the panel lining, this thing is a total mess. Um so yeah, not a great first start into the world of Gunpla customs. Look at the streaking on that shield. Ugh. So as long as I can make this Zaku not look like that Zaku, I think that we've made some progress. Now, do I do the? I'm probably. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking I was probably gonna do center of the torso in blue. What other colors should I pop on this guy other than like metallic grays and like maybe I could do the shield in blue. I could do the shoulder pauldron. Or do I do it in the olive green? Hydro Custom Zaku. Well, yeah. What do you guys think? Blue or green? This is definitely going to add a pop of color to it. This is going to look a little bit more military, a little bit more grungy. Set those aside for the moment. Mix the blue and green. I think that that would turn out horrible. Turn into a muddy brown. Do red for faster. That's not a terrible idea. I could do a red. Would it look too much like a ground type GM though? Yeah, the GM is definitely like a tan and orange. You're saying go for like more of a teal? Definitely like a pop of contrast. The leaning color and do both of the shoulders. Well, not the shoulder. Well, it's a little. I already did the shield and yeah. See, a ground GM was so high performance that they wanted to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who saw the mass-produced Zeta Gundam. Cooling there. Oh, hey, what's going on, Madrox? We are painting a Sakukai desert themed colors. painting because my airbrush is borked. Oh yeah, I do recall the silly nature of the mass-produced Zeta Gundams feature. Not what I would have given it, but that's why you're a better suit designer than I am for G5E. Definitely make this feel more unique as opposed to just stat variations. Yeah, I think that that's looking not bad for some hand painted. Don't mind brush strokes like this would not fly at all in any universe, but that's why it is a first coat. The goat come. Cover up this big old botch here. I swear this kit's gonna take like 3 years to finish painting. Grand old assault types. I'm glad that you have a like I thought it was just gonna be a greatest of all time, but like the fact that you've got a even better acronym actually makes me want to do this more. Is a chrome paint pen? I indeed have several. Question is, do we go silver chrome or do we I've got like metallic gold pens, I've got metallic bronze. Oh, sorry, got out of frame there. Paint on the brush here. Looks like the humidity might have fucked up my that one though. Surprisingly, one part primer's all jacked. But very delicate out. Whatever you choose, it's a volunteer reenactment company. Oh, interesting. That's pretty awesome, actually. I love reenactors. Scorp will tell you that one of the mods on our Discord server is an avid reenactor. I just don't know if I could handle like going out in the dead of summer wearing like the thick woolen clothes of soldiers of yesteryear. Probably going black. Backpack's gonna be black. Head. Oh, that's another thing. I did not even think about the pipes. What color should I make pipes? Full armor Gundam customs. I must be alone in the opinion, not too fond of full armor Gundams. Not even the Thunderbolt one, to be honest with you. I forget how this break him. My sticker king. There we go. Man, I really should have taken this apart before painting it. That's but yeah, I guess I could do the pipes like a cobalt blue as well. That might be kind of cool. Most UC kits are part of the group. All neon suits have the horns and shoulders, whites. Huh, that is cool. So now I see why you said build your as if they are in our universe and not Gundam. That makes a lot more sense. They are part of a. That's pretty badass. Sounds like something that Benager's little friend from be into. It's like they knew that people weren't gonna give a crap about unicorn model kits, and so they had to have a character that would spout the exact model number. Yeah, armor purging is kind of cool. Like the new Gundam with heavy weapon system. That's pretty sweet. Got one of my most most favorite mobile suit tropes: pity missiles. Dropped something. Must not have been important. Good coverage. Modern problems require modern solutions. There we go. Get a hold of this thing. Pumping the camera with paintbrush. Maybe when that dries a little bit more, grab it from the sides and paint it that way. The gold narrative banshee. That's the. Isn't that just the Phoenix? Phoenix saga?
Gene, please don't leave me. God.
That's a screw up. Definitely globbed too much paint on that. Maybe I can brush some of this excess paint off of here and onto the other foot. Fortunately, all part and very unnoticeable if something. Need an just do the parts. Don't judge me on this first coat. The first coat always looks like doo doo. Judge me on my fifth coat. That still looks like doo doo. Oh, was that Discord notification that I? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. You want me to share that on stream? I kind of dig how you used the Tallgeese shield in there. Clamped onto definitely part sliding, flipping and sliding and all. Maybe I'm just brushing too hard. My dentist tells me. Here, for context, this is oh, it is the Leo. Right, because the tall geese has the little bird in the center, right? One coat camo paint. Looks pretty legit. You'll also notice that I'm the only person in the world that has a black iPhone with a white button. That's because, well, I won't destroy the mystery, but suffice to say, I am the only person in the world with a black iPhone, a white button, white home button. It makes my iPhone supremely unique, I think. Oh yeah, that second coat goes on like butter. Like butter, she said. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Looks fantastic. Just enough texture without looking like it was finger painted on there. Actually, starting to get kind of excited about how this Zaku is going to turn out. I was a little nervous at first. You guys saw my first hand paint job. Had to be very careful with my phrasing there. But yes, the first kit that I hand painted looked horrible. I think it, that way I can copy as parts that I don't want. Just trying to get a nice grayish brown, but it started changing. Well, that's gonna be you never know what paint is gonna do. Dry different color than it looks when it goes on. That is a get in there and do some like little metallic paints for rivets. Make it look real edgy. Oh, green, blue, white, and quite a color theorist. I can tell you that the Clamps are so annoying to work with. Dab it off here. Lost a bristle. I have to grab my nice tweezers. I can get that. Check that out. Like on the one hand, I want to pull these things out so that I stop getting, but on the other, they have been very useful when it comes to rotating the part so that I can get to other places. It's a con. But I'll also have no problem. Takes up. Okay, so I think I know what you're. Wasn't mixed early. It kind of like changed. That actually reminds me of a technique that I was just reading about when it comes to 3D printing. Is slowly adding pigment layers. Well, and this is for resin print. Slowly add as layers, and so then you kind of get this cool gradient effect from the print. Sure that I didn't have any glue bleed. hang out too much longer, I'm afraid. I think it's edging up on my dog's dinner time. Might have to cut this a little short. They can eat. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just the colors that I've already got going. Finally, um, so yeah, I think I all the stream here just so that I can go get the dogs fed, clean up a little bit. Definitely want to hang on to this paint mixture because I've got a few more parts still to do with it. Probably just like, yeah, part. Still need to determine what color I'm going to do the pipes. Kind of leaning towards like a brown or like a something dark. Pop these parts off. Those probably. We'll see. I think I might do black parts in gray. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead, take off, feed the pups, get my evening started. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Wednesdays with Hatter. Watching monstrosity underway. Can I fit the? Yeah, all of the camera's probably way up in. Yeah, we're getting there. It's gonna take a few more coats, I think, to get where we want it. But like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening and a good rest of your week. Um, like I said before, if you are into the Gunpla hobby and looking for some of those premium tools, you can get 10% off at gunprimer.com using promo code HATTER. That is HATTER. Had to double check my spelling using Drakmore's goodbye. So thank you, Drakmore, for making sure I spelled everything correctly. There's no River Quest this week, as we've got some real life issues that are getting in the way, so a few people are gonna miss this week's session. So no River Quest on Friday, but we are going to be back at it next week. So next weekend we'll probably post something about it on Discord. So do follow River Quest Games on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you like to watch your tabletop RPGers. And until then, I will catch you all later. Thanks. Bye.